Hey, I'm Bill Gagne. This is the Royal City Hoops podcast, and we are going to talk about how much fun Game 5 was and what's going on with the series. I mean, what a game. So much fun down the stretch. LeBron being a monster. Jimmy, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is like, that guy's a samurai. But there's a lot to take in from that game. So much fun. So many big shots down the stretch, back and forth, back and forth. Duncan Robinson had a huge game. I mean, I got the box score up here. Jimmy Butler played 47 minutes. So let's gather ourselves here and be a little more excited and organized. So let's talk about Miami. Jimmy Butler is leaving it all out there. I mean, this guy is putting everything on display as a player, scoring. This is his second 30-point triple-double. He's just played unreal in my mind. I mean, I didn't watch games 2 and 3 because with Dragic and Bam out, I was like, nothing's going to happen. But apparently game 3, Jimmy may have had the greatest finals performance, of the last decade. People are saying it's an all-timer. And I didn't watch it. So I feel a little dumb. But again, I have stated in the past how much I love Jimmy as a player, as a leader, and you really saw his guys pull to him, right? In this game, there were a couple of moments I saw. One, fourth quarter, Tyler Hero had made a mistake, and Jimmy goes to him and kind of grabs him by the arm and just talks to him, and as a leader, it just brings him in and says, hey, you can't do just, you could see it in his face that he's like, I know this kid, he gets it. He puts in the work. We got to be together. And that was awesome to see that kind of leadership, which you don't see a lot in sports. You see a lot of the chest banging, the yelling, the mean mugging, but that was a moment that really, I think, epitomized his leadership on that team, which is incredible to me. The next, I think, is what he did with Bam Adebayo. Now, Bam did not play great, specifically scoring the ball. Had some tough times in tight. I think that neck issue is bothering him because if you think about it, your neck, the minute you got to put your hand over your head, everything's involved there. It's just difficult. And he's still developing as an offensive player. But if you notice, there are at least 2 moments that I noticed that right after Bam made a mistake, Jimmy went to him again, like right away. It was purposeful. You could tell they ran a play and he fed him. There was another play where Jimmy had a layup and Bam was there and he gave him, he dropped it to him for the dunk. Like that is like, hey, get some, you need to get going. This is important. And that was incredible. Plus Duncan Robinson just hunting shots. He was awesome. He was, let's look at this here. He's 8 of 15, 7 of 13 on threes. Half of those didn't even hit the rim. And he had a 4-point play in there, I think. He was great. Now, I guess the question is, how can they keep this on? They dusted off Kendrick Nunn after he didn't play most of the playoffs, and he was great. He's a rookie or a second-year guy, a D-League guy. You're seeing them use all these young guys and really build them. Now, they only played 7 guys, and in Game 4, they only played 8. So one of the freedoms is when you're going to get run is you're like, okay, you kind of relax a little bit, but you're more flow. You feel better because you're like, hey, I'm not getting the hook here. So you can just kind of let it go, right? And Miami's intensity just cranked up. And I don't know how many games you can go with just 7 guys and Jimmy playing 47 minutes because he was gassed. If you watch the game, you saw him put his hands on the little banners down there after getting fouled, and he was tired. But you look at a guy, and I think I used the term samurai a little bit earlier. If I didn't, I wanted to, because I think there's a term like samurais believe in dying a good death. At least that's the urban legend that I believe or think about. And you just see it. He's leaving it all out there. And I don't think he thinks about winning and losing. I think he's like, I'm going to do everything I can and let it go where it is. You don't see him yelling at guys. You don't see him getting in guys' faces. He's leaving it all out there, and they're all playing free. And that's frightening, I think, for some of the Lakers role guys. And it's empowering to the Miami guys. They're like, hey, what do we have to lose? Let's go get it. And if we fall short, whatever. But let's leave it all out there. If they can get Goran Dragic back as a little bit of a lift, I mean, he tore his plantar muscle in his foot, from what I understand, or has an injury to that. If you've ever had plantar fasciitis, that is tough. It is painful. And for you to suddenly be like, yeah, okay, yeah, you tore the muscle. Now you're going to get out there and play. Wow. That's just some serious pharmaceuticals and mental toughness. Like, good for you. It just blows my mind having had plantar fasciitis and knowing how much it hurts. On the other side of the ball, LeBron was, I mean, he dropped the 40 burger, 21 at the half. They were not playing well. They did not play well. He carried them. AD played okay. He got hurt. So that's going to be a problem. If he can't be close to 100%, Miami's going to smell blood in the water, and they're just going to get amped up more if they can keep their energy up. You know, playing 7 guys does that to you. But the Lakers are missing pieces. I mean, KCP's a nice surprise for them, and he's excelling in his role. You know, there's that saying, be a superstar in your role, and his role is to shoot threes, be a straight line player, and give effort, and he's doing all those at the highest capacity for him. What you're lacking is, say, Danny Green, who isn't giving you much. I don't know. He's making $14-15 million this year, next year. To me, that's a lot of dead money right now. He ain't worth that much. And what are you going to do with him next season? But that's another podcast. The Lakers need somebody to step up and put the ball in the basket. I think Rondo and Dwight Howard have been revelations as role players. They've done great in the wins. They've carried the load of some of the dirty work of being playmakers. And Dwight, I think, has accepted being a rim runner and rebounder and playing defending the rim and limiting his role, and I think he's done very well at that. But what's Kyle Kuzma giving you? What's Danny Green giving you? I feel like the Lakers need the player that everybody thinks Kyle Kuzma is supposed to be. You know, is he supposed to be this freelancing 3-point shooting D guy? I mean, I personally wish they would have kept Josh Hart. I think he fits way better. I don't know what they saw in Kyle Kuzma because I've kind of never seen it. But hey, here we are, the NBA Finals. Do I think the Lakers are going to win? Yeah, I still think they're going to win. At the same time, man, I would love to. Miami is so much fun to watch as a team. They remind me a lot of a college team. And the other thing is, it reminds you a lot of the NCAA tournament when you're watching, because you're just getting like a couple of camera angles. It's not as extravagant in terms of camera and production like the NBA usually is. So I kind of really like it because it keeps it simple, and I don't have a big brain, so I need simple things and small words. Now, what does all this mean going forward? If AD's hobbled, you know LeBron's going to come out and put on a Herculean effort, and they're going to have to brace themselves for whatever the Lakers are going to bring. I think Miami's got the toughness to do it, but it's not as certain as it once was to me. And that mainly has to do with AD's injury. He was noticeably limping. He made a couple of plays, but you can't have a guy who's all NBA, who's a huge part of your team, suddenly not be as good as he could be in the biggest moments. And not through any fault of his, because he's been clutch, but his body won't let him. They got a day and a half or 2 days, whatever you want to call it, leading up to Sunday's game. We'll see what they can put together. Is somebody on their team going to step up? Markieff Morris or Marcus Morris, whichever Morris it is that they're overpaying for. The Lakers got a lot of shuffling to do next year. I mean, I'm interested to see in the next offseason, which could be very, very soon because they're talking about the season starting January and we're already October. What's going to happen? But let's focus on, again, another podcast. Let's focus on going forward. Miami's managed to dust off some players here. I mean, Kelly Olynyk had some decent games. He didn't get any run on Friday night. we'll see. I'm very interested in how Rondo's going to play. The Lakers got nothing from their bench. They played 9 guys. They didn't get a whole lot of production. I mean, outside of LeBron and AD, I mean, AD still had 28 points. LeBron here, we're looking at 40, 13, 7, 3 steals. After that, Howard played 15 minutes. Green played 24. He had 8 points. I mean, KCP played 31. It's the Lakers really need their guys to step up. Miami's giving all they can. Do I think Duncan Robinson can mobilize another performance like that? Who knows? I mean, that was, as a shooter, and I'd like to think I'm a jump shooter, that guy was lights out. He just came out hunting shots, and every time he saw one go in, he must have been thinking he was shooting in the back of a pickup truck at the end of the game. He was just bombing away, and it was incredible. I mean, yeah, they got Tyler Hero, who's another guy who could get it going. Maybe Bam, gets another couple of days to heal. He can come back. I mean, as you can tell, I kind of really like the Heat. I kind of want them to win, but I love LeBron, and I really think he deserves it. I mean, he's playing crazy. He's going to be, think about it. Maybe he's not. He's going to be the finals MVP if they win, but maybe they should give it to Jimmy because he's win or lose, they should give it to Jimmy. I changed my mind. Win or lose, Jimmy Butler, finals MVP. Sold for me. We're going to try to do, what do you think? What do you think what's going on with this? I'm going to try to get another one of these in after. We'll do a little post-mortem when the finals is over. My friend Jason Braid says it was one game. There was one game left. Well, guess what? That was Friday morning we talked. Another game coming. So we're 3-2. If this goes 3-3, hey, that would be super exciting. I would love that because we're going to be months and months without games, and I need this to go as long as it can. On that note, please like if you like, comment if you have something to say, and subscribe at your own risk.